Khuruthang to everyone. Uh, as a teacher, I'm very much used to with writing on the boards with chalks. So therefore, I'll not use the slides. So whatever I wanted to tell, like I have made ready with me. So therefore, I hope that you'll bear with it. So actually, I'll be talking with the policies and the realities. But when I say the policies and realities, basically, as a teacher, I'll be dealing with the policies related to education. Now, when I say policies related to education, it doesn't mean that I'll bring out certain policies, but what I will do is I'll be reflecting back on the certain realities that we as a teacher are undergoing. Because, I have quite a rich experience, although I have been just over a decade in teacher, but I have been, I should say I'm very much fortunate because I got a chance to work with 8 principals and fairly well, like 4 principals were male and other 4 female. So therefore, like, I'm very much excited here to share this, some of the realities the teachers face in the schools. Now, my reflection is first, it is high time, I think, that we look at the education system as a whole package. Basically why I'm saying this is, right, instead of the performance-based education system, it is high time that we look for a growth-based education system. Like, why I'm saying this is because whatever the students learn, they must feel that they are learning. But what actually happening in a classroom is teachers coming in, teaching. As long as syllabus is covered, there is nothing check and balance other than, maybe the mid-year exam and then the end-year exam. Other than this, I don't think that there are certain ways to measure that actually the students are learning. Are they growing or not? So we wait for a result. I know as a parent, every one of us know it very well. So therefore, I think that we must, as a teacher, we must make the students feel that they are learning. So, but when I say it, when I say it, because maybe it must be, many of us, we must be thinking that maybe, there's nothing to do with policy because we have the framed curriculum. So because of that, there are so many constraints in delivering the education, the academic education or non-academic, anything that we wanted as a teacher wanted to teach to them, but there is certain other things that we have to cater to. So therefore, this is one thing. Other one I wanted to talk about is the intention of education is misplaced these days. Now education has become contest for name, fame, and then college, higher educations, it has become for the competition for the employability. But actually, when we look at the, meaning on the deeper side of education, I think we must inculcate intrinsic values in those who we say they are as an educated lot. So therefore, education must be value-based rather than a competition for the name, for the fame, or for, the employability. And then, because now these days, the definition of success have changed. Why? Because, in those days, successful person are, right after college, if they get employed, yes, they are successful. But now, the success have changed. Why? Because now, who are successful person? The successful person are those, those people like, who need not depend on compliance and conformity, right? This compliance and conformity, they are relic now. Instead, what we have to look for is, we have to now look for the key values in the school, especially in informing the, policies, right? Especially like when we promote the school, we must look for on what basis the students are promoted, right? So, and then, I'm sorry here, right? What we think one thing is, when we talk about education, we say that, formal classroom is the only place where we get education. This is the mindset of Buddhists, right? Whereby, therefore, the society as a whole and as a, as a parents, what they do is, then they are pushing away their social responsibilities. So then everything, is put on the, head of the teachers and the school, right? And then in my next thing, I'll be also relating to maybe, right, the democracy through education system. You see, now, unfortunately, the equality in democracy has lots of, interpretations. Now, why I say in democracy, right, what I have seen, I have heard, and then how I reflect is, there is political equality, but is there economic equality and is there social equality? In order to have economic and social equality, right? If you have economic and social equality, then it is automatic that there will be a political equality, which means political equality means if you have attained the age of maybe 18, right? And then you get a chance to vote. So therefore, one person, one vote, you get the equality. But when it comes to economic equality, though you use your power, the political equality, do you really get chance to use, do you really get that do you really get that social and economic equality? So therefore, schools should be educating the youth based on values, not just on competition, not just on, score tests. We must imbibe them with the values, right? So therefore, because they are going to be the future leader, so therefore they have all this in their mind as, as they become the leader. Now, in one thing in the school, what we can do relating to the democracy is choices of activities, choosing of the activities. What we have, the reality now is, when the academic session nears, right? Then there will be parents, looking for the admissions. Okay, I have to send to this is school A, school B. Yes, that school is good, that is not good, say. Mostly. But what I think is, now it is not a time that parents look for the schools, choose for school. What I think is, now it is high time that students must be given chance to choose the activity that they love to learn in the schools. You must have a variety of activities. We must have varieties of subjects. So therefore, based on the interests of the students, right? So they get the chance to, choose which one to learn, okay, subject maths. If they're interested in math, they can learn math. Okay, if they're interested in football, yes, let them play football. I think this is a high time, right? This is what I wanted to. So, and then school also can model as a democracy, because school can model as a democracy set up through formal and informal like school activities, as well as non-academic as well as non-academic activities, while especially when we make the decisions in the schools, right, we can involve the certain captains from the school, and this also we can model it. Although there are like democracy clubs there in the school, and I think I'm running out of time, I think I also should run. So I feel, so therefore, although there are democracy club, usually this democracy club, what happens is the main role of democracy club, what I see as a reflect back is, just during the time of captain election. But I'm speaking from the practical point of view, from experience point of view, but before the captain election, we nominate the captains, right? And then there will be students, maybe fairly, not very much up to the expectation of teacher. So he or she comes and say, I'm also interested to become captain, right? Then what teacher, internally they have the meeting and they say, right, if you put that nomination of that girl or boy in the list, he will have lots of friends or she will have lots of friends because he or she is influential, right? So therefore, but he's not doing good in his school. So therefore, his or her name will not be there. So therefore, as a result, as he was or she is not nominated as not in the list of nomination, then he or she cannot, contest for the election for the captain. So therefore, these are some of the things that we can imbibe and then we can really do in the school. And then one thing what we can do is service learning in a school, right? Learning need not be exactly in the, one place or just in the classroom, right? It provides a distinctive, meaningful, and influential life experience for students. If you look, if we have that, that idea of service learning, right? If we implement in the school. But what happens in present education system or in the schools is, if you take my students out of class and then maybe they will be playing or maybe certain things. Yes, principal, I'm very sorry, I can see some of the principal faces here, but this is the truth. Like, they say, okay, so, maybe he or she might be, like at the back of mind saying maybe the teacher is not prepared or maybe he did not want to teach. Because maybe we are brought up in that way, so therefore it's very difficult for us to, all habits, die hard, Other one is sustainability through education system also. School is a very good network for influence. Through students, we can cater it to the parents, and through parents, to the wider, audiences. And then others are, maybe 1 minute, 1 minute now. Sound education is a catalyst to associate environment and development. Yes, if you want to bring development. Yes, if you want to bring development, if you want to conserve environment, it is very important that the society, the person, the people should be very much be, equally quite be educated based on the values, right? So therefore, so lastly, we must also try to popularize certain sustainability goals. Although in some of the schools, especially in 2017, I can remember, right? The value of the week, before we really begin the academic session, there's 1 week where we have to train the students and instruct the students about the values, right? In 2017, I think we are made to do with the sustainable goals. But what I think is value cannot be, just taught. It has to be practiced. We have to make this, the value a part of students. So we have to make the value as a habit of the students, habit of not only student, even as an adult, But we cannot someone comes and then says, this is a value, this is how you do, how you act. I think probably, especially as a student, when the teacher goes out, maybe, right, the value, whatever teacher has taught, might be going away with him. So we must, try to practice in the school. Thank you.